Hey everyone, welcome back to Toy Habits, and today we are giving the Transformers Studio Series 86 Grimlock a much needed makeover using the Nonnef Productions 3D printed upgrade kit. We'll be giving His Royal Highness a crown, replacing his black chest plate with a clear one, covering up those hideous gaps in his forearm, bestowing a crown on him, upgrading his weapons with a red sword, and he'll also be going to the Dino Dentist to get a nice pair of dentures. Yeah. Look at that gap. Let's first take a look at the individual parts for this upgrade. The 3D printed parts still come attached to the plastic pieces left over from the printing process, but they are pretty easy to remove. Starting with the forearm panels. Now, these panels are used to cover up the hole where Grimlock's fist rests in the gap in his forearm when he is in T-Rex mode. There is a screw hole here that is used to keep it in place when it is attached, so you will need a screwdriver. You'll never see the back panel, so no need to worry about how they look. Next up are Grimlock's dentures, and he comes with a top set and a bottom set of teeth, and what we are looking at now is the bottom teeth, and here are the top teeth. Both have different ways to assemble them, which we will get into later in this tutorial. Now, you might be wondering what this white piece is, so wonder no more. It comes with a glue dot so Grimlock's bottom teeth can stick in his mouth. Think of it as fixative for his bottom dentures. Next up is his gold crown, which is modeled after his appearance in the Marvel comic, and you can see the molded detail here, which looks a lot less pronounced than the comic, which is great because the comic version looked pretty hideous. The crown is attached in 3 places, so you will have to remove them to separate the crown so you can put it on his melon. Next up is the red sword, so let's take a look at the blade. It's 3-dimensional and is raised, and it looks pretty cool. It also comes with 2 hilt pieces that you'll need to separate, and those pieces plug into the holes in the sword like so. The detailing on the hilt is pretty nice, and it's a simple piece that goes along with Grimlock's overall look. Last but not least, we have his clear chest plate, which will show off his Autobot symbol and make him look like the prototype shot we saw when this figure was first released and the cartoon. I wanted to thank Nonnef for making this upgrade kit, so please visit his website to purchase this and other Transformers upgrade kits at nonnef.com. We are going to start with the sword, and like I alluded to earlier, you will need to remove the hilt pieces, so let's show you how to do this. They simply come off like so, and just set it aside and do the same with the other half. And once you do that, you are ready for the sword assembly, but take note of the longer rectangular side and the corresponding peg on the other side. As far as attaching the sword to the hilt, you will want to line up the hole with the peg on the inside of the hilt, and you'll notice that there is a rectangular piece of the hilt that will line up with a rectangular piece on the sword, and you just push it in. It is already starting to take shape, so let's grab the other piece and repeat the same process and line everything up and press both sides together. Now, due to a medical condition, I can't press very hard to get these pieces to sit right, so I'm going to show you a simple hack if you are not strong enough to get the 2 pieces to sit right. I used a pair of pliers, and since these pieces are made of plastic, you want to use a towel or a soft cloth to get these 2 pieces to come together. You want to place the towel in between the hilt and the pliers so you don't end up with teeth marks on your hilt. I could already feel the 2 pieces coming together, so let's take a look at the sword, and right off the bat you can see that the 2 pieces fit nicely together and the sword looks pretty darn cool once it's assembled. I really like the design of the sword. The blade is very angular with hard lines, and I love the raised part of the blade. The hilt detail is in line with the figure detailing you will find on the Studio Series 86 Grimlock, and it has a long hilt that fits nicely into Grimlock's hand. I am very impressed with this piece, so let's move on to the crown. There is no assembly required for the crown other than getting it off the plastic that is holding it prisoner. It's not difficult, but save that yellow piece I just removed as it plugs into the screw holes in Grimlock's head, and the job of these plugs is to cover the screw holes if you want to make his head look a lot cleaner. Next up are his forearm panels, so let's show you where we're going with these. You'll notice a large hole on one side and a hole that lines up with the screw holes on his foot with the 2 toes that are sticking straight up. You'll need to grab a screwdriver, and the screws are very easy to remove. So simply take your screwdriver and remove that small screw. You don't have to apply a lot of pressure, and make sure that you're using the right size screw head so you don't strip your screw. Once the screw is out, Just set it aside and you'll notice that there is a tab on the back panel that will rest in the tab on Grimlock's fist. So you'll just need to line it up with the screw hole and screw it back in, and remember not to over tighten the screw because you'll need the panel to be able to move and slide. You then screw it back in and this step is easy peasy done. You repeat the process for the other side, so remove that screw, line up the panel with the screw hole, and screw everything back together. And voila! Grimlock is sporting some very nice forearm panels that cover up those gaping holes that we got with the stock figure. The gray colors match very nicely with the factory color, and this piece is a perfect fit, and it makes his arm look a lot more seamless and interesting. Next up, we will be removing his black tinted chest piece and replacing it with this clear one. And what you'll want to do here is grab your screwdriver and bring his chest piece up so you can access the 2 screws on the back side of his chest plate. The screws are smaller than the forearm panel screws we had to remove, so I had to put a smaller screw head on my screwdriver to get the teeth to bite on these screws. Once the screws are out, you can simply pry and slide the old chest plate off as it comes off with minimal force, as it just needs to be wiggled and shimmied out, and it just pops right out. I am not sure why Hasbro chose to go with black, but lucky we have people like Nonnef to fix this. Then just grab the clear chest plate and simply slide it back in and rest it into place. Then just open up the chest again, find your tiny screws, and screw the chest plate back on exactly the way it came off. And here is Grimlock sporting his new clear chest plate. This piece really changes the overall look of the figure, and I am very happy with the way this came out. And once we get the crown on top of his head, that completes the upgrade for his robot mode. Doesn't he look slick? As we zoom out, we have his red sword in hand, and you can already see that the figure finally feels complete with the forearm panels, and he just looks fantastic. The sword fits in very nicely with the overall look of the figure, and it just looks amazing in his hand. And here is another close-up of the forearm panels, as this fixes one of my gripes with the Transformers line, where they leave really large holes in these figures and don't cover them up. Before we get to Grimlock's teeth upgrades, I wanted to show you how the forearm panels hide the fist when he is in dino mode. So all you need to do is slide the panel up and his fist tucks right into the space, and then slide the panel down and you are done, and it looks awesome. Here is a full view of how he looks with the new panels that are now on his legs in dino mode, and he looks a lot more seamless and natural. Now, I did not notice this before I received this upgrade kit, but Grimlock looks like he's been in a bar fight and got his front teeth knocked out. It's this small attention to detail that can make or break a head sculpt, and I am very happy that we have people like Nonnef that are looking out for us. I can't unsee this now, so I'm happy that we're giving him a new grill, and here is another look at the upper and lower teeth. For this part, you will need to locate 2 screws, one near his nose and the other is by his eye, and simply remove them. Again, you will need a smaller screw head to remove them, and they come out very easily. Once they are off, simply pry the piece off with your hand, and we'll show you how the top teeth sit in Grimlock's mouth. You'll notice a curved piece on the part of Grimlock's teeth. They simply rest around the curved part where the screw sits, and that's all. Just take the headpiece and line everything back up and screw it back together, and you're all done. For the lower teeth, you will want to grab your glue dot that is supplied with the kit and remove it from the white sheet and the clear plastic sheet as shown here. It comes off very easily, and just place the glue dot on the underside of the teeth where that hole is, and all you need to do from here is place it in his mouth, push it down so the glue dot seats and sticks to his mouth. Once they are both in, it completes the look of this head sculpt, and he just looks simply amazing from all angles. Again, it's really the small details that can dramatically change the look of a figure. You'll notice that I have 3 small pieces left over, and these are the filler plugs for his head when he is in dino mode, and they basically cover the screw holes to make his head look uniform and seamless, but this seems like more of a permanent upgrade, so I'm going to skip this part, as I can imagine those filler plugs will be very hard to remove once they are in. And this completes the upgrades for the Transformers Studio Series 86 Grimlock, and he looks thrilled with his new look. Support Nonnef by visiting his website and purchasing this upgrade kit. See the link in the description or others Transformers upgrade kits, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe.